The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to some more Season 9 SGL action. My name is Luis, and joining me in the commentary booth is my man Debit. What's up, Debit?
Bro, I was just here. What happened? They let me back in here? Man. But no,
Yeah,
it's so good to be be back in a commentary booth, getting to talk stupid stuff with you, getting to talk about our league competitors. Here we go for more season 9, except we're just switching over leagues this time.
we are indeed switching over leagues, obviously, as you mentioned. You featured earlier on the channel in some SGL championship action. And for tonight's match, we're going to move on over to the premier SGL Division 1, so to say. And tonight's matchup is incredibly juicy. We have the locals from San Diego versus Timbers Army of the Portland Timbers. Two teams that had really good seasons in Season 8, Debit. What are you looking forward to for them in Season 9?
What I'm looking forward to. Oh gosh, Timbers Army gave me like the biggest bracket hype of all time. They really vindicated my 5-6 winners final prediction so hard that I could not believe it actually came true. It turns out whenever you root for accountants in life, it's just a good thing overall. So I'm looking forward to seeing Timbers Army, especially Rydog, getting back on the field. Uh, Working with this team over here, especially seeing Nelly and Piglet back in. That is such a strong team that we've seen throughout just playing SGL as a whole. The locals, super solid team overall, and they actually went further in the bracket than I had predicted. They're one of those sneaky teams where, like, if you let a little bit off the gas, especially when watching Mecky Ducky downfield, um, you gotta watch out for this team because if you look at the 1-2 punch of Dr. Aquatic and Mecky Ducky, with KJ probably coming in to take a little bit of your soul as you're trying to defend the goal line, that's one thing that you don't look out for. You're getting punished for a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned Mecky Ducky. Mecky Ducky amongst the MVPs of last season. Tremendous season from him, carrying a local side that I believe finished second in the table, second or third in the table in the regular season. Didn't have the playoff run they would have hoped for, but Mecky Ducky, a player to watch out for. And then on the other side, Timbers Army. They backed into the playoffs in a tremendous fashion. They finished the lowest seed out of all the seeds, but finished third. They made the lower grand final Cinderella run from Rydog, Nelly, and the gang. And apparently, word on the street is that gang got a little bit better, Debit, this season
Oh,
with some reinforcements. And if that is the case, that makes this Timbers Army team a formidable challenge to winning it all. I mean, a team that finished third last season, apparently adding a better player than anybody currently on the roster. So hopefully the new player features. We won't spoil the names, but he is indeed in the lobby as Timbers Army has just joined Debit. So I'm looking forward to seeing this bolstered Timbers Army team.
yeah, bolstered in a way that I was kind of not expecting them to bolster up. Like, you talk about teams that are just firing up at the deadline. Like, yeah, I'm literally going to use a reference to a baseball team. Fun fact, in San Diego, it's like watching the Padres starting to boost up back in the
Yeah,
off season.
yeah. Listen, I thought you were gonna go hockey and mention Mikko Rantanen joining an already
No.
stacked team. Of course, no bias in bringing up Mikko Rantanen on the SGL stream tonight. Um, we are indeed actually waiting on the locals. So we are gonna go ahead and wait for them to join the lobby. But until then, Debit, let's go ahead and look at the standings if we can bring that up and kind of see where we're at. Again, this is the first week of the season, so not much action has happened on the left side of your screen. The premiere has taken a little bit longer to get going in the week, but all games are apparently scheduled, and of course we have this one tonight. El Matador has already featured. They played the Rebellion, and that was a sweep And so, hopefully, Debit, sweeps are good if you're playing in them, but from a viewing and commentating perspective, I at least hope that we have more than 3 games in the series we're about to commentate.
As somebody who barely plays in 3-0 series, I can attest that they are not fun to play in, especially whenever trying to, close out everything you got going over here. But you're right. As a caster, I want to see all the action possible. Give me a 5-game set, if possible. But I guess that will carry into our next question over here. How are we thinking in terms of predictees, especially Chad over here? If you got any takes on this matchup over here, throw them into the chat. Maybe we'll read one of them. Who knows? We only got Fire Nico chance right now, so...
And just
No
incredible
bias
allegations of Luis Harrison in the chat. I mean, this is... For somebody who carried Caesar 16TX to a title last season, I mean, to be compared to Nico Harrison, one of the worst human beings on the planet, Debit, I mean, that's got to be bad, right?
Yeah, Southwest might say that they weren't as bad, but maybe they did have a point. Nico Harrison might be the worst of them all, at least on a comparison's sake. Depends on how you look at it. But getting back to our little match over here, to throw some wind to the sails of Southwest Airlines, I'm gonna predict Timbers Army here. I'm gonna go 3-1. I'll give the locals that game, but I think I'm heavily favoring a Timbers Army win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 as well to Timbers Army. I think that this new addition, who I will, again, still not spoil until you guys see both teams in the lineup, I think that they're going to take it down tonight. But I do want to highlight, before we do get into the match, both teams are in the lobby. Snippy, welcome. First-time chatter. Good to see you. Caesar, as well as Maz and X-Bear Blitz. Good to see you, man. But, Debit, I'm ready. Both teams are in the lobby. Let's get this game on the road, man.
Yeah, I came here to commentate Rocket League and to do it for you guys, so you get to hear my voice as we get kicked off over here. Both teams are set, ready to go. Doughboy for the locals on kickoff. Ride Dog for Timbers Army. Here we go. Game 1 is underway.
Game 1 is underway. The locals in blue, Timbers Army in orange on your screen. And speaking of your screen, Debit, do want to highlight Doughboy. He put together all of these amazing overlays as we see a tremendous save from Dr. Aquatic. So shout out Doughboy. SGL stream looking very, very nice.
Dude deserves all the praise, absolutely. But his team might be in need of some defensive help as they are just getting pestered by Timbers Army. Nelly with the brilliant pass up. Rydog right in the heart of busy season. Slams it home. Client, give me that worksheet right now. Timbers Army up 1-0.
Yeah, the flowers on top of Dr. Aquatic's car, not big enough to stop that tremendous just team play from Timbers Army. Again, this is the Timbers Army. Obviously, you're seeing Low Boy 2 on your screen. This is the big free agent signing of the SGL offseason as Nelly puts the ball in the back of the net. Another good passing play, just connecting there. Low Boy loved the extra touch off the backboard there, Debit. And listen, Nelly, one of the standout players from Season 9, picking up where he left off.
Absolutely. I mean, Nelly, this was one of the players that we kept wanting to see the entire time. Didn't see Nelly as much early on last season. We were started wondering, like, is Timbers going to be able to pull off this kind of, path back to the playoffs? We didn't see it with the quality of teams coming in, but they ended up, recovering as that group. Nelly being a huge catalyst, getting that series win over the Cauldron to sort of put them into the driver's seat and get that 6th seed over there. So they're in really good position right now, especially with new addition Loy Boy over here. A little bit of trouble, but they get the clear. Going for now. Dr. Aquatic has to retreat. Nelly is setting up beautifully again. Nobody's around. Ride Dog maybe looking for an opportunity to get in, but the locals can break out.
The locals breaking out through Mecky Ducky. I should say negative rep on his Steam profile for playing in a Dominus. As we see Nelly finish it off for Timbers Army, 3-0. But yeah, just to finish up, Meki Ducky, we're used to seeing him on the Batmobile, man. I don't like it, Devitt. I need him in the Batmobile. That's where his aura comes from, or at least part of it, because he's a tremendous player. But all that being said, 3-0 Timbers Army, and they look very comfortable here.
Yeah, you gotta admit, like, through all of the, defensive stops that the locals can pull out, it all just feels so temporary. The booms are downfield, they're able to get a couple 50s going here and there, but it's resulting in these quick shots that you see from Doughboy, or like those type of offensive chances, but they're not sustainable. They're not exactly keeping the locals, on top of things, and then they get caught out defensively. The midfield is wide open for them to just kind of take over. Rydog, not even looking for a shot, looking to just take out the squad over here. Doesn't get it this time, but now they have to retreat.
Yeah, some decent offensive pressure from the blue side and the locals, but yeah, and just no real clear-cut chances, Deb, but it seems pretty comfortable as I speak about a very uncomfortable spot, but that's just kind of the brilliance that we're going to see from Loyboy this entire season, Deb. But I mean, just an uncomfortable spot, but the mechanics bail him out. And speaking about getting bailed out, I mean, that post came to Timbers Army's rescue.
A goalie's best friend, or if you're a team, it's just the team's best friend. Doesn't quite work out for the locals over here as they get dribbled by. Loyboy, quick little nifty pass across. Nelly says thank you very much. 4-0 lead here for Timbers Army.
Yeah, and this is super high level SGL play here from Timbers Army. I mean, this league, of course, we are a soccer fan Rocket League, and so we have ranks of all different disparities in our league debit, but right now we're seeing some tremendous mechanics and team play on display as Loyboy 2 finishes off the 5th goal, and my goodness, this is some tremendous Rocket League right now.
And if you're Doughboy, you're sort of wondering where you take off from here. I mean, Rydog's got the pinch up in the midfield. You see the person below waiting to start the dribble. You're like, all right, cut here. Now I'm going to get him here. Nope, they already beat me to the ball. We nearly had a ground pinch over here from Loyboy. But yeah, Timbers Army are just causing so much deception, and then they just hit you right with quick bursts of speed. It's not working out well here for the locals right now. They got to regroup in some way, shape, or form. Maybe use this last minute and 37. Give themselves a little bit of that comms break. Because, no official timeout spots anymore, but in these spots being down 5, it gives you an opportunity to at least talk about some things that could be going at least a little better right now.
Yeah, and I just think if you're the locals here, you have to just kind of get to full time here, regardless of what the final score may be, and just kind of talk about it. But I got to say, Devitt, I mean, this looks like a tremendous, first of all, air dribble from Loyboy, finishes it off, 6-0. And yeah, I mean, this is really, really good Rocket League, and I don't think we've seen teams play up to this level in recent years. So this is really good first viewing for this, again, bolstered Timbers Army team.
Bolstered and immediate impact coming here. Loyboy may have been proposing a ground pinch over there. A little bit of deception over there, keeping Aquatic out of the picture, jumping, guessing a second way. Timbers Army, if I thought they were maybe one of the teams to beat back in the playoffs last time, I think they want that grand finals. I think they want that cup match, going for them. They're coming for everything. The league, the cup. They want to be champions of the world, aka SGL.
Yeah, and right now, from what we've seen so far, not only last season, but just the first series as well with the EM versus the Rebellion, I mean, this is easily the highest level of Rocket League we've seen out of a team in SGL, like I mentioned in recent years, Deb. But again, it's only game 1 of the first week of the new season. But man, if you're a Timbers Army fan in chat or Timbers Army player, you've got to really be feeling yourselves, as no goal there from Doughboy, and game 1 is going to go to Timbers Army.
Clean first game win here for Timbers Army. You said it. Can't ask for anything else if you're on the Timbers Army side, especially seeing a new pickup Loy Boy, 655 score, getting 2 goals, 3 assists, a hat trick of assists. I mean, what more first influence can you have on a league than game 1 of this series?
Yeah, tremendous debut from the blockbuster free agent signing of the SGL offseason. Only 2 shots for the locals. It's just not going to cut it for them. A team of their quality, a team of their pedigree, especially against, again, just this formidable TA side that I think are going to be one of the, if not the best team on the eye to watch in SGL this season. And let's see what they bring in game number 2. I mean, the locals are a veteran side. They've been in the league for a few seasons now, and so let's see how they react after getting punched in the face here, Debit, in game number 1. And also want to highlight chat as well. Good to see some of the first-time chats for tonight, or at least in this second stream. So Toe Death, Serrano, good to see you. I don't know if I said hi to Khan yet, but good to see you as well. As we get into game number 2, let's see what the locals got, Debit. See if they got a little bit of a veteran mentality going into the second game.
Yeah, it's something you really got to look around, sort of see what you can lean back on, showcase. Sorry for a little bit of pause there, but yeah, if you're the locals, you got to look back at your prior experience, looking back as a team. We talk about being in the flow state a lot as a team, sort of, driving you to your success. And if you're out of that flow state, constantly questioning things, constantly looking around at your teammates, maybe jumping for stuff you shouldn't. Locals, I don't even think they're like too far out of the flow state, but maybe it's just the flow state is not the right move or the right current, trajectory that they just should be on right now. They're getting a bit outclassed right now. And it's something where you really want to look at your approach and go like, all right, how do we want to deal with, do we want to go with like a man-to-man type, like how are we going to approach each different player we got going on here? Do we want to like bring them to a different side, focus our efforts one way versus another way? Some sort of rehashing is going to be needed here. I do trust them to at least get back one of these games over here, given what I've seen out of this locals team. They have shocked me quite a bit in the past. That's what I'm hoping will come out of this game too.
Yeah, and just for the viewing's sake, hopefully we see a better locals performance, and we know that they have that in them, right? So, just as speaking about the games, Nelly, Mr. Reese died, but he is currently resurrected back in the lobby. So, both teams are going to be joining here very shortly, as well as my co-commentator, who has yet to join the lobby, but there he is. Everybody's in the lobby, so we're back. So we appreciate the patience. Father of the Loys, welcome to the chat. First time chatter. Welcome to the stream. I assume you are a proud father with what your son did in game number 1. And speaking of the game, Debit, we're back. Game number 2, let's get it.
Holy crap. We're back in the game. Who would have thought? We're right back in. We're jumping in. Game 2. Let's see what adjustments we could potentially make. But right off the bat, Timber's Army looking to start off strong. Nearly getting one through Nelly. The attack continued by Rydog over here. And I am seeing a car switch from Loy Boy out here. Is that what I think it is?
Oh no, he's brought out the bad as we see it. What a save.
Gosh,
from
darn.
Mecky Ducky again. Somebody that we are. Oh, he's not in the Batmobile. I might.
No, that's the F1.
He's in the F1. One of the most underrated cars. I believe it's a car with its own unique hitbox. Don't see many of those in the game. So good to see that being brought out by again our debutant in Loy Boy. But so far a better start for the locals. I mean, not conceding through 50 seconds is at least a better start, Debit, than what they did in game number 1. And maybe some strategic changes happened. But so far so good for the locals.
Potentially, yes. Especially you mentioning about the amount of time. Pause down. Oh my gosh, what a save out. The shot nearly goes in by itself. But the last second clear from Doughboy, absolutely critical. I believe that was Rydog that was about to get on the line. Slam that home. The turnaround gives the locals a chance. They're getting 50 out there in midfield. They got to regroup. Early chance for Timbers not quite falling their way.
Yeah, great goal line clearance from the overlay god himself, Doughboy. Again, want to highlight his tremendous work. As we see a big dunk here from Aquatic. Can he get back to the ball? He can. I do want to highlight Ice in chat. Good to see Triple C as well. Welcome to the stream. As we see a good clearance from Aquatic to Mecky Ducky. But yeah, so far way more comfortable, Debit, than game number 1.
Yeah, looking a lot more comfortable. They're causing Timbers Army to get, not in a panic, but they're forcing them to at least jump a bit more for these defensive balls going over here. Timbers Army don't look like they have as much boost on them going for right now. They sort of have to wait until they get like a hit out to the midfield, maybe something like that. Loyboy going for the flip reset in the middle of midfield, maybe a bit unadvisable in that moment. Rydog has no boost. Able to clear their lines from now, but yeah, they are not as in shape as we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to the veteran presence of a team who has been in this league and playing together for a long time. As we see Mecky Ducky, he should be scoring there. Somebody of his quality, especially in a matchup like that, you need to see that go in. But Devitt just says, we've been playing Rocket League for a long time, man. If you don't take your chance, it's going to go right back down the other end and end up in your own net, and that is exactly what we saw right there.
As a famous Hamilton song, gotta take your shot, gotta make the most of it. Or if you want to bring up Eminem, that's fine too. Either way, the locals not quite getting their shot this time. It was brought off of a beautiful fake from Aquatic, by the way. But Timbers Army end up getting the last laugh for the moment. You know, many things can happen still within this game. But all is well.
Yeah, for the moment it looks relatively decent. Some wall dashing coming out of the F1 there in Loyboy, and always like to see fellow wall dashers. We need more of that. It's easy, guys. Get in free play. So good to see that from him. And man, he's going to be fun to watch, Devitt, this season as just a neutral, just a fan of SGL. I'm glad we've brought in someone of his quality. Can never take good players for granted. As we see Nelly gets dusted by Mecky Ducky. This could be a chance. Oh, and Dr. Aquatic misses.
Oh
So
no.
does KJ. The net is kind of open, but Mecky Ducky, the MVP of last season for many, to the rescue.
Man. Doughboy after that whiff, thinking his lucky stars that Mecky Ducky was the last one back. He actually ended up like weaving through 2 Timbers Army defenders to get that ball out. Ends up working for Nell, driving a little bit of the offense. The locals have definitely shaped up a lot better here within this game number 2. They just need one of these opportunities to fall. This is a good setup over here. Mecky Ducky with the shot from Aquatic. That's a great save from Loyboy. 48 seconds left. Threw a little bit of an extra flip over there. Loyboy maybe wanting to solidify that win. Gets one off the ceiling. Rydog can't handle it cleanly, maybe for Nelly, but the locals have a chance to break out now.
Yeah, and they're breaking out through Mecky Ducky. This could be a shot. No one in the middle, though. I feel like that's got to be one where you send. You're down a goal, and here we go. Loyboy to the sky. Great hand put up by Dr. Aquatic, but it's now or never for the locals, and you really feel like they have to win this game, Devitt, if they want any chance of winning the series.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a brilliant touch across. Oh my gosh, Dr. Aquatic, what a goal line save. Able to stop the danger for now. But yeah, the locals, they need to move quick right now. They're getting pressured so much. Doughboy needs to get one touch. Doesn't happen over there. Aquatic gets one touch up, but we have a Rule 1 over in the corner between Doughboy and Loyboy. The Rule 1 of the boys does not matter. The ball falls. Timbers Army take game number 2.
Yeah, Nelly dropping a good 527 that game. Tremendous game from Nelly there, and it's actually the locals, Devitt, that outshot Timbers Army in this match. I mean, listen, coming into what we saw in game number 1, I would have never bet on the locals outshooting them 8-4. I mean, doubling up on the shots there, and it just felt like there was a couple chances there from, in particular, Mecky Ducky had one, I think KJ had one. That, man, you really feel like that you got to put those away against a team of TA's quality, and on one of those they didn't put away. It resulted in the lone goal of the match, and so better game number 2 from the locals, but Timbers Army getting it done, and they're on match point.
Yep, your Timbers Army once again sitting pretty, wanting to see how you can handle the rest of the series. Maybe put a a little bit on your toes in this game, but you know, you're still maintaining your defensive form, doing really solid overall. But now looking at this, looking at game number 3, the biggest question is obviously on the locals. How do they break through and get that first goal? Because right now, they just need something to fall right now. And Meki Ducky had the best chance of them so far. Maybe a redemption shot could be coming over here. It could be coming real soon. But Rydog says no to that one.
Yeah, and I just feel like, oh, as you see Dr. Aquatic
Oh,
in a
no.
1v3, and he makes the save, blocked by James. What a play by Dr. Aquatic. It looked like a for sure goal for Timbers Army, but the doctor said no, Devitt.
Doctor was called in to make such an emergency visit over here. And so is another one, getting another save here for Dr. Aquatic. The Doctor is in and getting so many saves. That's already another one. Has the Savior award. 3 saves. We're not even a minute in. The locals defense. Well, they've come to play.
They've come to play. 300 points to Dr. Aquatic's name already, and we haven't even played a minute. But here's Loyboy in the sky. No hands. Oh, he gets bumped off at the last second. Nelly, can he finish? He can. 1-0 Timbers Army, but great setup from Loyboy. And man, that's just going to be a weapon for Timbers Army all season. Air dribbles, no hands. Nelly's going to be loving that.
Man, if you're Meki Ducky, you're doing so many things on here. You get that last bump on Loyboy, preventing that double tap over there. Nearly gets a touch off the goal line, but Nelly's waiting, and you're inches away from another stop over there. Locals defense still holding firm on a lot of these, but they're going to need to break out soon over here. We can praise the defense all they want, but if that scoreline says Timbers win, it's not going to matter after this game.
Yeah, and of course, as we see, Nelly cuts in field, finishes on the left side of the goal there. Bit of an awkward spot from KJ. Probably didn't see Nelly on this side of the field and vacates the open net. And Nelly adds to his total in this game alone. He's got 2. Timbers Army has 2, and they're well on their way to sweeping their first game of Season 9.
Yeah, it's looking real good here for Timbers right now. We haven't seen the local score and the prospects of a comeback. I am no longer a betting man, but if I were to continue, I don't think I'd have too much confidence in the locals right now as we get another goal here from Nelly. That's the hat trick for Nelly over here. 3-0 here to Timbers.
Yeah,
that's a lot to come back from.
It's a lot to come back from, Devitt, but I just want to highlight a lot of space in the midfield and a player of Loyboy's quality. He's going to set up his teammate, and Nelly had a training pack shot there. And it's got to be demoralizing if you're the locals. You know, you had a really good game number 2. You may have thought, you know, we learned a lot in that game, but this game number 3 is Nelly again on the score sheet. This game number 3, Devitt, is turning into what game number 1 was.
I'll say, we're talking about potentially Loyboy being that early shout for MVP. We gotta start looking out for the Rocket Richard of SGL. Yes, I know there's a golden boot, but I was thinking hockey at this moment. Nelly with 4 goals. Now Rydog wants to get in on the action, but just like an accountant, they don't score. No goals here for Rydog. Nelly looking maybe for another one off the dunk. Meki Ducky able to clear.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost number 5 for Nelly. He's just in the right place at the right time. I mean, this guy's just slotting shots on the locals net, and yeah, it just feels kind of hopeless right now, Devitt, for the locals. I mean, I don't even know where they begin to find an answer. It just feels like everything Timbers Army's throwing at them is just a little bit too much for what the locals can muster up. And I'm telling you, Devitt, so far this has got to be early contender for favorites to win the cup.
Absolutely. Oh wait, hang on. Okay. We don't get the perfect sweep. The locals getting the 50 they need. Doughboy, what a pass across the Meki Ducky. Rydog, I'm sorry, he got put out in no man's land. 1 goal here for the locals.
And listen, that's the Meki Ducky we saw all last season, right? I mean, this guy's a goal-scoring machine. He is the catalyst for this team. And here we go, a free air dribble, but Rydog shuts it down, and Dr. Aquatic can't really find a good center ball there. But a bit of life for the locals here, and I mean the game's not over yet. I mean there's still 20 seconds left, so plenty of time for them to come back, Debit. But it's got to start now.
Yeah, it's got to keep going. That momentum, especially that one that didn't even actually happen as a goal for them, but you saw Dr. Kwai try that tough angle shot. It's something that they need right now. Oh, good little cut there from Timbers Army. But again, Timbers Army's pressure is just a lot right now. The locals, if they're going to get it, they just need something to fall right now. Just keep that momentum going at this point. Because right now, they're getting out-pressured, out-bumped, outscored. Loy Boy, again.
Yeah, and just a tremendous play. Nelly this time turning into the assist man for Loy Boy. Nice angle on the shot there from him and his now Fennec, his third car of these 3 games here, and that's got to be the nail in the coffin, it feels like, as we see a double whiff on kickoff. Absolutely love that. The kickoff tech, I'm always a fan of new kickoff tech, so we'll call it that as opposed to a whiff. But here we go, Nelly in the air. Loy Boy, brilliant save. I think he was getting saved if we're being honest, but Timbers Army just super confident.
Yep, and we're looking for those bump opportunities. Maybe one. Oh my gosh, the shot doesn't go here for the locals. Nothing is falling from them right now, and you feel like they're almost just riding out the rest of the series at this point. Nelly, maybe looking for another one over here. If you're the locals, try to take as much as you can out of this game, because right now, there's just not much going your way.
Yeah, not much going their way, but I will say one thing, though. I think, we spoke about Timbers Army. They finished 3rd last season, and man, they must have had so much confidence coming into this season. And I guess it's when you're picking up a player of Loy Boy's quality, man. I feel like any player would be confident, but tremendous first showing. And yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't get a longer series here, Debit, but man, this was really good Rocket League, though.
Yeah, this was an outstanding first performance here from this, new member of the squad here for Timbers Army. Early front runners for potentially a league champion here for SGL Premier. If you're the locals, this just wasn't your week. Maybe it's something to regroup. But yep, we gotta highlight Timbers Army. Dominance here from them as they take their first match of the season in a sweep.
Yeah, and of course, GG's to both teams. Timbers Army, like you mentioned, take the sweep, and yeah, Nelly had 12 shots in the last game. That's I don't know what the record shot for an individual is in an FGL game, but that has got to be right up there. And yeah, GG's to both teams. Timbers Army looked to be just a step above where they were last season, and for the locals, I think. Honestly, I think this Timbers Army team is just going to be at the top of the table, and so shouldn't feel too down about how the series went. Just kind of have to regroup, and these guys are veterans. They've been here, done that, so I for sure expect the locals to be back to their form. We know that they can be Debit, and yeah, what a debut for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to check in on our winners over here, as I believe we're going to be looking for some interviews here. Timbers Army, they're apparently riding a high right now. There's talk of like everybody coming into the studio at this point, so you may hear a little bit of everybody. I don't know. You might even hear from Loy Boy, the new fella. Might hear from Rydog, might hear from Nelly.
Yeah, and again, we are waiting for the interviews. But again, chat, appreciate y'all being here. Triple C, good to see you as well. I didn't shout you out. It's always good to see you in the chat. I think everybody else, we got a word in. So it's always, when you're in the commentary booth, it's always nice to see the Twitch chat rolling, putting some words down on the screen. It makes it feel a little less lonely. So we appreciate all y'all being here. But with that being said, we are ready for the interviews. And speaking of interviews, here they come.
Oh my gosh, guys.
They're invading. Timbers Army is here. Welcome all.
Hi.
Welcome all.
How we doing?
Hello. It's good to see you all. Congrats on a tremendous start to Season 9. I don't know who to single out, but yeah, talk to me. How did it go? How was the series?
Talk to the two all-stars of the series, Nelly and
I mean,
Low
a lot
Boy.
of trash talk from Rydog during the series. Just not a lot of positive reinforcement on any of the plays you're making. Do something
that's
at
where
change.
that's where we thrive, though. The negative reinforcement really pushes us to the next level.
Yeah.
So
Really,
what we're
all
saying
we
is-
can really get there.
So what we're saying is Rydog is toxic. That's what we're taking away from.
He has a massive ego. He definitely thinks he's the best on team. By far.
I only said it about 4 times that I'd be in the backpack every single game this season. So just like I play normally with like any of you guys. So we're just living in the backpack.
Devitt, you got anything?
Gosh darn, hang on. I just needed to flip around one thing. But gosh, you guys just look like a whole new team out there. Like, you already vindicated so much of, I mean, I talked about it earlier. You vindicated my bracket predicting it last year or last
That's right.
season.
That's
We had
right.
to.
And now you look like I gotta put you as like favorites right now. There's no fun in you guys not being a 6 seed anymore. You guys look too good for this.
We leveled up. We got a new friend and Low Boy, and he's obviously crazy good as you guys saw, and him and Nelly just connecting in that last game. Like I just felt like I was just driving in circles around the back half of the field. So I don't know. From my perspective, it's fun because I can just watch them and just I can just he's off the ceiling again. He's jumping up. He's passing over to Nelly. That's crazy. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
That is one of the things I kind of noticed. I'm like, dang, Rydog looks a lot like that enforcer type person out there right now. He's just sort of like letting these two work with it right now. I'm just gonna make the space for them, and then just enjoy the ride. It's kind of beautiful to see whenever you can just fulfill that kind of role.
It's different though from like last season's. Obviously, you guys know, so it's like gonna take some adjusting and stuff from my end. But I'm happy to do it because these guys are crazy. So
Yeah, and I just want to ask Loy Boy a question, man. Like, you've got to be one of the most like impactful debutantes that we've ever seen in SGL, man. I mean, just kind of speak to me a little bit about, how you thought you played, just kind of your overall view of the team, and what's the goal here? I mean, we were speaking about in the broadcast. I mean, this is some of the highest level Rocket League we've seen in SGL in quite some time, and of course, you're a massive help to that. But yeah, just speak to me about your first series, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was going into it with a little nerves. I mean, in reality, there's no nerves. It's Rocket League. We're here to have fun. But definitely little nerves because, I mean, I still have my moments where I just whiff completely on the ball. And sometimes that happens a lot. And I look worse than Rydog, which is saying something. But, sorry, Ry. I mean, it felt good to play. Definitely regretted doing anything with the Formula 1 car. That thing was not fun to use. It did not turn
gosh.
like they do in real life. Missed the ball a lot because of that, but went back to Fennec and all of a sudden that made Nelly way better. So actually, I think I'm more of an influence on him with my car than I am on myself.
Speaking of cars in the broadcast, Rydog and Nelly, I mean, you guys will know. I'm disappointed that Mecky Ducky wasn't in the Batmobile, man. What's that all about? He's playing Dominus
I
now?
don't know.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we scared it out of him last season. I don't know, but he's got to bring it back, man. I was
Yeah.
telling these guys, but well, I guess Nelly already knows, but I was telling Low Boy before, like, Mecky Ducky's good, man. When he's on, like, I remember last season, like, he started the season like just straight crazy, and so like, obviously they're still a team to be reckoned with, especially when he gets hot. And freaking Dr. Aquatic saved about every single shot in that second game. I mean, that game could have
Yeah,
been
that
what,
was-
like 4-5-0, and it was 1-0 because Aquatic just comes out of nowhere and saves everything. So I mean, all three of them are good. Doughboy has insane gameplay too, like as good as, if not better than, his graphics. We love the graphics. So
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's-
it's not fun being hunted actually by Doughboy.
Oh yeah, that too. He's a big hunter.
he's a big hunter.
And you know you're being hunted by KJ because you hear those horses coming, man. He has the horse engine sound, and so you know it's KJ, man. He's got the the very, very unique engine sound. Yeah, I mean that's it for me, Deb. But I was gonna give them the floor. You have anything else for the series winners?
No, we got all three of them in here. Let's give them the floor this time.
All right,
First
let's
and
go first.
foremost, shout out to interim head coach Pigletish for stepping up and taking the big role today on that. I think it might be a rotating position, but we are yet to see. Shout out to all the fans in the chat, and shout out to both my teammates. It makes it easy when they put the ball right on the front of your car. So
It also makes it very easy when the ball that's going on your car is in the back of the net every single time, though.
That's
see
fair.
that. Great pass.
That's fair. Great pass. Yeah, shout out you guys and for streaming, of course. And then I want to give we said it in our in between. I forget which games, but the graphics. I know you probably said it 40,000 times. And we'll keep saying it all season. The graphics look great. But no, shout out my teammates. I'm happy with where we're at. I got to figure out myself because I don't know where exactly I fit, but I'm just happy that we win. And yeah, shout out to he's not in chat. He was in chat earlier, but my Shayla. If you don't get that reference, please go to Vine or go to YouTube and figure that out. But yeah, GG's.
Well, GG's to you guys as well. Congratulations on the first series win here in Season 9 in the first game week. And that has been Timbers Army. Chat and
guys. Appreciate it.
stream.
Have a
Really
good night.
appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one, all right?
Thank you. Have a
Yeah,
good one.
cheers, boys. Thanks for streaming.
Yeah, and Debit, just lovely vibes, right? I mean, that's kind of the name of this whole thing is obviously this league is for soccer supporters to play a little bit of Rocket League, but it's always good to see the team's vibes in these interviews. No matter win or lose, it's just kind of what makes SGL, you know?
Yeah. You want to see the teams just sort of like mesh together, have all the fun they can. It was just like a meme, like my team's done that too. Like we brought the whole squad in. I know they weren't happy with me doing it before, but yeah, it's like the moments like these. Really want to see like how the team will just like mess with each other back and forth. Maybe drop an in-game hint here and there. But yeah, team dynamics are the best part about SGL that we got going over here. And I can't remember looking at any more, or is this the only one we got over here?
Looking like that's the only interview we have tonight, Debit. We are ready for to see an updated schedule and Liga table. Let's take a peek at that, and here we go. And of course, we are on that left-hand side of your screen. We finished up our championship side with Debit's win earlier today, but there we go. 2 sweeps for EM and Timbers Army, and we await a very, very interesting KC versus ECRC game on Saturday. I assume we'll be bringing that to you guys, and for me, I think these are 2 teams in KC and ECRC, Debit, that will be title contenders, no doubt. Word on the street is Serrano is getting a lot more playing time this season in SGL, so really looking forward to that game. And I think also ECRC may have improved, might have to see if that comes to fruition as well. So 2 title contenders going at it on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, what kind of stands out to you, Debit, of what you've seen so far?
What I've seen so far, I mean, it shows sweeps across the board. So I'm maybe seeing like some first week jitters that we got going over here. But whenever I'm looking at that schedule, I'm still looking at that last matchup that has to be completed. I still think we saved the best for last over here. We gotta look forward to ECRC versus KC Cauldron. Because looking at all these other results, I can't say I'm too surprised. Although watching EC Defiance pull out that series sweep, really impressive to see. Really love to see them get back into the swing of things, pulling out the new weight they got going on over there. But KC Cauldron, ECRC, KC just barely missed out on playoffs last season. Some would argue that already could have been a champion if they made it to the playoffs, but yeah, this is my highlight series this week. This is the one I want to see the most. Watching these 2 teams, the way they pass the ball to each other. managed to, work in between the midfield gaps and all that. That's something that I look forward to the most, especially when we're watching these two teams. So, yeah, especially now that you mentioned now Toronto's getting a bit more time. Maybe we could be seeing the title contenders start coming out a bit early.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Deb. I think the best is for last here on Saturday. As we take a look at the updated league table as well, we can move on over to that. I think, yeah, I'm just super excited to see that game on Saturday. I think both those teams, again, are title contenders and will be just right at the top week in and week out. But there's the updated league standings. The only non-sweep so far on both sides of the bracket is that Steel Army versus Old Timers series that we witnessed earlier today. But 2 sweeps on the left-hand side of your screen, 100% games won. And of course, I think games won debit is going to be massive this season for whoever wins the SGL regular season. And we should remind folks, no playoffs this season. Playoffs are, that playoff vote lost by 1 point. So the season winner will be the person who finishes top of the league, your typical Premier League, your typical non-United States sports league sort of format. So games won is going to be really, really important, debit, to see who is crowned the Season 9 FGL champ.
Yep, it's something that we argue consistently season after season. Get those gritty games. Doesn't matter if you're down 2-0. Fight till the end. You don't know how much those points will mean to you at the end. Literally difference between literally 6th and 7th place last year in the main league. So, yeah, count your game wins. Keep them coming. But yep, that'll do it over here for the league tables that we got. Just a little highlight. Also, you'll see just an odd amount of teams. ECS Eternal will not be playing this week as they are on bye. So, unfortunately, we won't get to see them this week. We'll get to see them next week, though. So, yeah, looking ahead, we're going to be dropping into week 2 soon.
Yeah, and we can go ahead and show those week 2 fixtures. You mentioned EC Eternal. Yeah, they are currently on a bye. They will be featuring for the first time in Season 9 next week against this local side that you just witnessed. El Matador will be on a bye next week for the Premier SGL Premier. I keep saying Premier like it's like some
You
English.
are British.
But yeah, looking at next week, Timbers Army ECRC looks like a banger series. That'll probably be the highlight series of next season for Premier. And then on the championship side, we mentioned the Battle of Texas. It will be fun for all the memes that those two sides like to put in the Discord. But yeah, well, I mean, what stands out here, Devitt, for next week?
I gotta see the run back of the Rebellion. I really want to see how they do against a team like KC. That's probably what I'm going to be looking at. Especially that ECS Eternal Locals. Looks like 2 very evenly matched teams, especially seeing Spanky being on ECS Eternal this time around. But yeah, and then you highlight the championship. It's got to be LV and EM Big Dogs. It's got to be the battle of, all the chatters that show up in SGL, and then versus the team that has a person that can't use there correctly. So, we got to find out who's the top dog over here. We'll find that out.
We will indeed, and hopefully we can get that game on stream because it's going to be a doozy. The chat will be wilding in that game, but that about wraps it up for us, guys. Do you want to highlight and shout out Maz behind the scene running the stream? Always a pleasure to commentate. Debit, good to see you. First duo commentary for me this season, so good to see you as well. Good to commentate with you. But yeah, you can close us out, man.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be in the casting booth with you here again. Again, shoutouts to Maz. Thank you to Doughboy for all the updated graphics. Thank you all for being here this evening. I know we had 2 separate streams going on, but appreciate you all coming around, being part of the chat, interacting here with our casting crew over here. Always a pleasure talking about our games that we got going on. Rydog, if you're still listening, don't listen to my commentary more. That's all I gotta say. But other than that, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.